So I finally found some time to take the axle out. There are a couple things that I want to address on the thing. Now, the reason I had to take it out is from getting hit by that drunk driver. The control arm bracket did bend and it also cracked in some areas. I did get some heavy duty brackets that I'm going to be welding on there. I'm still going to go ahead and drain out the diff just because I am going to be preheating the axle tube just so when I start welding it, I don't get anything like cracking or anything like that on the welds. Everything's kind of up to temp. These are the pinch welds that I redid or kind of hammered back just to fit the tires. I'm going to go over it with some more paint. The fender got put back on. It's not the cleanest, but I did manage to get a lot of the bends out of it. The black spray paint for now, just because I didn't want it to get rusted. But this is everything that I got to take care of still. On this side, I'm debating if I'm gonna just cut it right here, get rid of this whole section, or if I'm gonna attempt to pull this back out. But that's gonna be literally after I do the axle and everything. There's a couple of connectors I gotta redo. I bought new headlights, the lower lights. I just need the corner lamps, and then I'm gonna tack this back into place. Anybody else love the smell of diff fluid? Or is it just me? So there is a magnet on the inside of the diff, or the diff cover. There's nothing picked up on it, so it's looking good. Now, one of the things I do want to do is paint this diff cover. What I do want to do is paint it kind of like a wrinkle red. The control arms that I got from Core 4x4, they're a brighter red, but I kind of wanted to match that. So it's kind of one of the things I want to do before I put it all back together. The axle itself is pretty dirty. Plan is to probably just leave it as is. Maybe clean up some of it with a wire wheel real quick, and then maybe just go over it with some black spray paint real quick. Nothing fancy. just to clean it up, give it a little bit better of a look since it's already out anyway. So just to kind of show you guys, these are the new arms or control arm brackets that I'm going to be welding on. So I'm going to have this much welded, both sides, inside and out. And then I believe I have enough room to weld the top end right here and right here. Obviously, the more weld I get on this, the better. I managed. Look, I know I beat it up just a little bit getting it off, but for the most part, this is kind of how it sat. See, it started to split right here. All this is bent. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you always wear your glasses. This one kind of shredded. Safety glasses, check. New cutoff wheel, check. So I didn't have time to film yesterday. It was a little windy also, but the control arm that goes right here, or the bracket, let me see if I have it. So instead of it being straight like this, it actually has to have an angle to it. It's a good thing I didn't cut off this side, because that's how I found out. I know this might have been common sense to some people, but this is literally my first time doing anything with like control arms and stuff like that. So I didn't notice that at the beginning. I don't know if you can see. So what I'm trying to do on this side is match that same angle. The lines that I did have from when I was cutting, I marked the old bracket first, and I mean I kind of have like a template of how it goes, but the issue I have is that this control arm bracket does sit straight just because of the way it's cut. So what I did is, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, I did give it a slight angle to it, and what I'm trying to do is match up as best as possible the angle before I start welding, because what it does is it ends up creating a gap kind of like this. I'm okay welding small gaps, but obviously I don't want it to be too wide of a gap. I'm looking for some really good structural strength here. So I'm gonna try and shave this down as much as possible, just so that when I put it on, everything sits flush. So I've been having some issues with the welder. At some point, I was practicing some of the welds on 1/4" steel, and at one point it started sputtering. It sounded like the arc and the motor were cutting out. Ended up fixing it for the most part. The power wire was actually not making good contact inside the box, so I tried it out a couple times and it seems like it's going good. But I'm a little nervous, obviously, because this has to be a really good weld, and I'm just not sure if the machine is actually fully fixed. So we're gonna run it on setting D. This is an A through D selector, so I'm gonna have it at the highest setting, and then just gonna preheat this area and start welding. I already have the control arm bracket tacked into place, so we'll see how it goes. about 140. I'm gonna be doing basically the straight line first. It's what I know best. Let's see how it goes. So like I said, on this one, I'm gonna be having it at D for voltage, and then as far as speed on this one, we're gonna be sitting at about 7. I do notice around 7, 7.5 is where this kind of works a little bit better. When I started going up in speed, it started to sputter a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. Where did I put my gloves? Alright, time for another pass. You know what? Let me heat it up just a smidge. Don't want to lose that heat. As far as the weld, doing just a straight pass, not doing anything fancy. None of those. That was embarrassing. So we're in November and it's still very hot today. Anyways. Whoops. So I got everything welded up. I also ended up doing this side, but I still got to clean off the slag. Next thing is to take off this control arm, or the bracket. I keep saying control arm anyways. The bracket. Time to remove it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can mark the insides the same way I did the other one, just to get a rough estimate where it goes, and then hopefully have the other side welded on by today. This is Walter, and then we got Lydia over there, a little ball. Lydia, hey girl. So now that I got used to kind of welding this type of material, well, you know, the type of weld I'm doing for this bracket, never really had to make it structural, like I said. I said it 1,000 times already. Anyways, for this second bracket, felt like I had a really easier time getting started and just kind of starting to weld it up. I also grinded the edges just to make it angled, but overall, this is still the root pass. I did a root here, and then I did an upper and a lower pass on top. I still need to do the sides. This one came out the same way. I did a root, and then an upper and a lower pass. Came out pretty good. It was really hard to get in here. I still have to clean up the slag, but overall should be done tomorrow. And then LKQ is actually having a 50% off sale November 28th through the 30th, I believe. And I do need the header panel for the Jeep right here. It's basically what holds the buckets in for the headlights. It will be 50% off, so see what else I need from there and pick that up. So there is one ZJ in the San Bernardino LKQ, so I'm gonna see if it hasn't been, taken off or whatever else is left on it. I guess I kind of missed it, but I believe it said 31 days ago there was actually a ZJ in the Ontario LKQ. That one had front bumpers, rear bumpers, had a spare tire carrier. Man, I missed it. Would have been so cool to have all that stuff. But gotta learn to check into all that stuff. A tire carrier though would be very cool for this thing. So welded, painted, just gotta mount it back on. Whew. Oh heck yeah. One person job getting this thing back in with lifted springs and everything, kind of hard. I woke up with a really sore neck. It's kind of hard to move it, but whenever I lay down and try to orient myself a certain way, I have trouble with it. So, trying to get through this as best as I can. Anyways, this is where I'm at right now, barely on the driver's side. I'm gonna see if I can just do one side at a time. I have the lower arm right here. I'm gonna see if I can at least bolt it up for now. Not fully tightened, just, you know, as long as I get that nut on there, just to kind of secure everything on this side and then move over to that side. Doing this after eating all that Thanksgiving food. I woke up sick and I have a very stiff neck. It's not making it easy for me today. Nope. I set caster, tighten up all the control arms. For now though, I think that's pretty much it. I still have to work on the whole front end, but like I said, I went to the junkyard and got some of those parts, so that's going to be probably another video on its own. But for now, we're done with this part. I don't know what that was.